Have you ever noticed that as we get older, some places just don't feel as welcoming or as safe as they used to? Maybe it's the noise, the crowds, or just the feeling that something's off. You walk in and your energy drops. Your body stiffens. You feel like you're constantly on guard. It's not just in your head. The truth is, after 65, there are certain places that may look harmless on the surface, but they can quietly chip away at your health, your confidence, and even your independence. Now, I'm not saying we should live in fear or wrap ourselves in bubble wrap. Far from it. This isn't about avoiding life. It's about protecting the quality of life you've worked so hard for. Staying sharp, staying active, and staying independent isn't about doing everything you used to do. It's about knowing what to walk away from, so you can keep doing the things that really matter. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 specific places that may seem ordinary but could be putting your well-being at risk. Some of these might surprise you, and it's not about judgment. This is about awareness. When you know better, you choose better. And with just a little bit of smart planning, you can avoid unnecessary dangers and enjoy a healthier, safer, more confident life. Let's begin with a place you might not expect. The shopping mall. Yes, the good old mall. Maybe it used to be a fun place to walk around, grab a bite, and do some window shopping. But as we age, the mall environment can become a quiet hazard. The hard flooring, the slick tile near entrances on rainy days, and even the overcrowded food courts. These all add up to a perfect storm for slips, trips, and sudden exhaustion. Now, you might be thinking, but I go there all the time. And that's okay. If you're going with someone, keeping your visits short and resting when needed. But many folks push themselves at the mall, thinking of it as easy exercise or just a bit of walking. Before you know it, you're drained, your knees ache, and your balance feels off. And let's not even start on the escalators. Those moving stairs are a nightmare if your depth perception or reflexes aren't as sharp as they used to be. Instead, try to find smaller, local stores where the pace is slower, and the walk from the car to the entrance isn't a marathon. Some seniors are even choosing to shop online for heavier items and only venture out for the things they enjoy, like fresh produce or a quick chat with the friendly clerk at the corner bakery. That way, you're still getting out, but on your terms. Another place that quietly becomes more dangerous with age is the big box hardware store. Ones, towering aisles, polished concrete floors, and those shelves stacked way too high. These places were designed for speed and efficiency, not for safety or comfort, especially if your eyesight isn't what it used to be or your balance gets a little wobbly by the afternoon. Think about it. Just one wrong turn and you're dodging forklifts, squeezing between narrow aisles, and trying to lift a bag of potting soil that weighs more than your grandchild. Even something as simple as reaching for a light bulb on the top shelf can put your shoulders or back at risk. I've spoken to more than a few folks who ended up with pulled muscles or worse, just trying to pick up some mulch for their garden. Here's the thing. You don't have to give up gardening or fixing things around the house. But let's be smart about how we do it. Ask for help. Many stores will gladly assist you if you ask. Or consider using their pickup or delivery service. There's no medal for carrying a 40-pound bag of gravel by yourself. The goal here is longevity, not a one-person strength competition. And while we're talking about exhausting environments, have you noticed how chaotic some airports have become lately? Security lines, fast-paced terminals, last-minute gate changes. It's enough to wear out even the sprightliest traveler. For seniors, especially after 65, airports can be a real test of stamina and patience. Between the long walks, heavy luggage, and the stress of delays, what's supposed to be a gateway to adventure can turn into a recipe for exhaustion, or even injury. It's not that you can't travel. Travel is wonderful. It's soul-filling. But we need to think ahead. Direct flights over layovers, wheelchair assistance, even if you think you might not need it, packing lighter, choosing airports that are smaller and easier to navigate, and above all, giving yourself plenty of time. Rushing through a crowded terminal with an aching hip or a stiff back is not worth it. There's nothing wrong with setting new rules for how we move through the world. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. You're choosing health over hustle, ease over ego. That's what smart aging looks like. Now that we've talked about a few places where hidden risks can pile up quietly, the mall, the hardware store, and the airport, let's look a little deeper into one more place that might be quietly stealing your energy and sense of peace. It's one that many of us visit out of routine, without realizing how it could be affecting us. I'm talking about crowded family gatherings. Now, before you get the wrong idea, let me say this. Family is a beautiful thing. Being around loved ones, hearing the laughter of grandkids, catching up with your children and siblings, it's one of life's greatest blessings. But let's be honest. Sometimes those big gatherings, especially the loud, all-day ones packed with noise, chaos, and activity, can take a bigger toll than we realize. Think about the last time you went to a big family barbecue or a birthday party that ran into the evening. How did you feel afterward? Drained? Overstimulated? Maybe your hearing got fuzzy from all the background noise, or your legs ached from standing too long, or you couldn't quite keep up with every conversation flying around the room. And when you finally got home, your body didn't just feel tired, it felt wiped out. It's not about avoiding your family. It's about managing how you show up for them in a way that feels good for you. You don't have to stay for hours if your energy drops after one. It's okay to step into a quiet room for a little break, or to say no to events that are too large, too loud, or too far away. You can still be present, still be loving, and still be connected, without sacrificing your own well-being. Let your family know what works best for you now. Most of them will appreciate the honesty. Maybe they'll set up a quieter space at the next party. Maybe they'll come visit you in smaller groups more often. Relationships evolve, just like we do. It's okay to ask for what you need. And let's not forget, overstimulation isn't just tiring. It can actually make balance, memory, and even blood pressure worse in the moment. The brain works harder to process everything, and that stress adds up quickly. If you've been feeling more irritable, more confused, or even slightly dizzy after a busy social event, that's not just getting older. That's a sign your body's telling you, hey, I need a breather. Now, before we wrap up this section, I want to touch on something that often gets overlooked. But it's so important when we talk about protecting your health and independence. That place? It's the hospital waiting room. Yes, I know. Sometimes we have no choice. Emergencies happen. But outside of true emergencies, spending hours in a hospital or urgent care waiting room, especially during flu season or high-stress times, can actually do more harm than good. These are high-risk environments, full of people coughing, sneezing, and stressed out. Your immune system might not bounce back the way it used to, and sitting in close quarters with sick patients isn't worth the risk unless it's absolutely necessary. And beyond illness, the stress alone, long wait times, lack of comfort, unclear updates can spike your blood pressure or raise anxiety. For some seniors, just the process of getting there Sitting under bright lights for hours and trying to advocate for yourself can leave you feeling worse than when you arrived. What's the better option? If it's not life-threatening, talk to your doctor about alternatives. Many healthcare providers now offer telehealth visits. You can speak to a doctor from your living room in your pajamas if you need to. Some communities have nurse-on-call services or clinics that are quieter and easier to navigate. And if you do need to go in person, consider calling ahead, asking about the best time to come, or having someone with you who can speak up on your behalf when you're tired. Your health is precious, and protecting it isn't just about eating right and exercising. It's about where you choose to spend your time, how you navigate public spaces, and whether you listen to your body when it whispers. Because if you don't, it might start shouting. The good news is, by simply being aware of which places drain your energy, challenge your balance, or put you at higher risk, you can start making choices that support your independence, not limit it. This isn't about avoiding life. It's about stepping into it with more wisdom and more strength than ever before. The truth is, staying healthy and independent after 65 isn't about doing more. It's about doing smarter. And sometimes that means saying no to environments that quietly chip away at your energy, your safety, or your peace of mind. It means being okay with doing things differently than you used to, not because you're less capable, but because you're wiser. You've earned the right to move at your own pace. You've earned the right to avoid places that drain you or put your health at risk. And the beautiful part is, when you protect your well-being, you actually have more to give to the people and experiences that matter most. Let's quickly revisit what we've touched on. We talked about places like busy malls and big box stores, where the physical layout and high energy can take a toll on your body. We looked at airports, which are often more stress than they're worth unless you plan ahead. We talked about large family gatherings, not because family is a problem, but because overstimulation can affect your balance, mood, and focus. And finally, we looked at hospital waiting rooms, not because they're bad, but because they should be a last resort when safer, more comfortable options exist. But there's one more place I want to mention, and it's not on any map. You won't find it in a GPS or on a signpost. This place? It's the space we sometimes go in our own minds when we feel like we're too old to change, too late to learn something new, or too behind to make our health a priority again. That mental space, the one filled with self-doubt, guilt, or fear of judgment, is the most dangerous place of all, because it's the one that keeps you stuck. It's the one that convinces you to settle, and settling is the first step toward losing independence. But let me tell you something, and I hope you really hear it. You're not too old, it is not too late, and you're not behind. Every single day you wake up is a new chance to take one small step toward a better version of you. Whether that's choosing a different store, skipping a stressful event, or just saying, "No thanks, that doesn't work for me anymore," it all counts. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to be everywhere, do everything, or act like you did at 40. You are allowed to create a life that fits you now, a life that supports your energy, your mobility, your joy, and the best part? When you start making these choices, you inspire others, your friends, your kids, even your grandkids, to do the same, to slow down, to listen to their bodies, to respect their own limits. You become a quiet, powerful example of what graceful aging looks like. If any part of this video made you nod your head or made you think, maybe I've been pushing too hard, that's your inner wisdom speaking up. Listen to it. It's there to help you, not to scare you, but to guide you toward a better rhythm. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you noticed certain places that seem to drain your energy more than they used to? Or maybe you've found better alternatives that help you feel safer and more energized. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. And if this video gave you even one helpful insight, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people just like you. And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got so many more conversations coming that are all about helping you feel better, live stronger, and stay independent at any age. You deserve a life that feels good. You deserve to feel strong, clear-headed, and confident every day. And that life is built, step by step, by the choices you make. Not just where you go, but where you don't. Here's to living your best life, not in spite of your age, but because of it. You've got this.